Shout it, say, I was created to bless others. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. He's saying, manage your, watch this. And it says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as what? Of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Come on, somebody say, we've been created to bless others. We are called to use our gifts to serve others as faithful stewards. Remember, a steward is a manager, and we are to manage the Most High grace. That grace, that word grace there, is where we get the Hebrew word charis, where we get the word in English charisma. He says, you are called to manage what I've put in you. Have you ever seen somebody walk into a room, and when they walk into a room, they don't have to say a word, but their very presence changes the very room, and we say, he got it. It just got the it. He got the it. Everybody in here got it. They just don't know that they have it, but he's graced you with gifts that allows you to walk into places and literally change the atmosphere, change the environment. That's why you wouldn't complain about your job if you would understand you're not there for employment, that you have been placed there and deployed. You have been put there by the Most High for a specific reason, and that is to show forth his glory until he returns. And if we spent more time doing that instead of complaining, we would understand and have more value in what we do called work, and realize we've been sent to work the work of him while it is day, because no man can work it. You got to be about your Father's business even on your job. You should be a light and a difference even on your job. You should be salt even on your job. Man, I ain't got nobody saying that. If you save and everybody else is complaining and you complaining along with them, what makes you any different? The difference is when they start complaining, is you start talking about his grace and his goodness and his love and his kindness. Man, I hear they getting ready to lay off. Man, whatever they going to do, to God be the glory. But I tell you what, I know what I'm called to do. And I'm called to be here to let you know it don't matter what happens. All things work together for the good to them that love God and who are the called according to his purpose. He ain't going to let me go, but if he allow them to let me go, it's because he got something better. Can you take a bad situation and talk positive so you can change other people's perspective on life? You've been called as an agent of change. You've been called to be a light. You have been called to let your light so shine before men that they see your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven. Somebody holler, I've been called to bless other people. I've been created to bless other people. Now in the text, we see Peter was specifically talking about spiritual gifts like prophecy and healing. And those are supernatural abilities God gives each believer. And the Most High doesn't give us anything just for our own benefit. After all, we've been blessed to be a blessing according to Genesis 12:2, right? And just as with spiritual gifts, the Most High wants to use our gifts, abilities, and skills for the benefit of others. How can you put that into practice? Well, maybe there's a ministry that uses your skill or talent to help other people. For example, maybe you just know how to work on cars and you can volunteer to help a single mother and fix her car for free. Or maybe you're a painter. You can hold art classes for a nursing home and show the residents how to do art in a way to kind of just give them some encouragement. Am I talking to the right people? Maybe you are a cook and maybe you can do a community event. I seen one guy one day, he was on the corner and he just had a grill and he was cooking hot dogs and hamburgers. And I said, what you doing? He said, I'm feeding anybody that's hungry. Amen. Y'all ain't gonna help me. And then when people was asking him why he was doing this, he started telling people he was doing it because the Father had told him to take whatever gift he had and use it for his glory. If all you can do is burn up some hamburgers and hot dogs, burn them up for his glory. But eventually learn how to cook them right. If you look into your community, you're sure to find a need you can meet with the gifts and abilities the Most High has given you. I don't have any talent. I don't have any giftings. I don't have anything that I can do, and every day you're doing it. And you're not understanding that there's a kid that ain't eating. You cook for your kids every day. You know one thing about my wife? She grew up in a family, her family's from Jamaica, and they don't know how to make a little bit of food. And she talked about how her grandfather would cook, and her grandmother is from Virginia, so sometimes they would cook 2 different meals because he didn't eat American food, and some of the Americans didn't eat Jamaican food. So they would cook 2 meals. Man, that's a good house to be at on a nightly basis. Mind you, he would get up and make breakfast every morning. He had them cook dinner, and they had to put the dinner in dishes because he didn't believe in eating out of pots, and he believed that the family should come and eat together. Y'all don't know nothing about that because don't nobody. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. And so my wife grew up with feeding everybody. And so one of the things is my wife feeds everybody. You can see it even when we do things here at the church. We feed everybody, and we feed them for free. Listen, everything you do, you know, there's something you can do to minister to people. Amen. That didn't go too well right there. Somebody holler, come on, say, let purpose prevail. Say it. That's why Yeshua said in Matthew 25, 42 through 45, he said, for I was an hungered, and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in, and naked, and you clothed me not, sick and in prison, and you visit me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee in hunger, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me. He's saying, when you don't take care of my people, you're not taking care of me, and you're not bringing me pleasure. But when you take care of my people, well, ain't nothing. There's no ministry for me to do. Listen, if you go downtown to the jail and you get clearance at the jail, there's a whole lot of people that can use your encouragement. I knew it was going to be like that. There's a whole lot of people that can use your encouragement. Do you know how many people have lived in our house simply because my wife grew up understanding that you got to take care of other people? And that's what, listen, if she don't ever preach a sermon, if she don't ever, somebody holler, ever. If she don't ever write a book, if she don't ever drive a luxury car, if she don't ever live in a mansion, I tell you one thing, she got a revelation that you got to serve somebody else with your life. Listen, I was in the gym some years ago, and this kid was playing basketball, and it's crazy. He playing in college now. He reaches out to me all the time. He was playing basketball, and he had on some very bad sneakers, and I had just bought a pair of Jordan 12s. Y'all ain't gonna have them. They was white and red. I had just waited. The packet came out of the white and red ones, the black and red ones. I had just gave the black and red pair away, so I was saying, these are for me. And the Holy Spirit said, no, they're not. They're for him. I took those sneakers off, and I said, here you go. And now you can play in them. They match your uniform too, so you can play in them. So I went to one of his games. He had on the raggedy sneakers. I said, bro, why you got them raggedy sneakers? He said, I ain't messing them Jordans up. He said, oh no, them my school sneakers. He said, bro, you must be. He said, listen, oh, these right here? Every time I saw him, they was crispy clean too. He must have been like, had a piece of something with him, just You know how much pleasure I got out of the fact that I was able to bless him like that? But how many people know how good, how do you think it made the Father feel? He called you and created you to bless others. Man, I thought I had some help. Somebody said he created me to bless other people.